Alrighty, welcome back to my third and final video of the day. This is going to be the actual putting the card together part of working with little Boho Anya from the greeting farm. I colored her up in the two previous videos, and before I actually start putting the card together, we're going to put her together because I was doing a little bit of altering, and I had stamped up the legs of Simply Anya and then cut off the bottom skirt of Boho so that I can glue them together and just give her kind of a short little summer dress. So I'm going to do that right now. And I'm just going to use little Zig two-way squeeze roll glue pen. Get a little glue on there. Okay. And then just line it up to where I like it. Where she looks good, like that. Give it some pressure. And then you'll notice I didn't color in her little flowers either, and that's because the paper, one of the papers that I'm thinking about using from this collection, had these great little flowers in it. So I just fussy cut some flowers out of that, and we're going to glue those on. So just get some glue on here. Place it so it covers up the little stamped flowers. If you don't mind a little bit of fussy cutting, easy enough to do. And it kind of dresses her up and changes the look a little bit. So now, Anya is ready to go, and I've got my card base ready, and the papers I'm using today, the whole reason why I pulled her out is I just got this pack of the Miss Caroline Fiddlesticks paper from My Mind's Eye, and I really liked the, well, kind of boho look to it. I thought it matched her really well. So I pulled some of the papers from the paper pad that are possibilities in putting this together. And my first, I know my first layer I want to use a wood grain. I just have to decide which. They're all double-sided. So I had this guy that has some of the colors in it. But I wasn't crazy about it, especially with the other papers that I pulled, so he kind of automatically got cut. Now it's down to between this one that's got the fancy little kind of lace and floral stencil on it, which is pretty with her, or just a straight wood. And my dilemma now is in deciding mainly which papers I'm going to use and which ones they would look better with. These two are kind of for sure's, I think, my two solids without being solid. So it comes down to between the polka dot, the multicolor polka dot, and the multicolor floral. And so then if I use that as my background, it's just seeing which of those would look better on that, or if either of them really work, or if they start competing too much with pattern and pattern and pattern. I think I'm going to go with the straight wood on this one. That way I don't have to worry about it getting way too busy up there with these other patterns that I want to bring in. So I'm just going to get this ready to cut. If I was at my big cutter, I could just measure on it, but my little desk cutter, which I love, doesn't quite go up to the card all the way, like 3.5 is its max. But I just pencil in on the back side of my paper. And I'm pretty good at eyeballing where my cuts need to be to get my paper ready to go. Okay. So that's going to look pretty good. And I'm going to use the creamy brown chalk ink and just give myself a little bit of an edge. Like I mentioned in the last video, it's something I, probably do on 99.9% of my cards is ink the edges. I just like the way it brings all the different patterns together. And now, just going to glue that into place. So, my next step I know that I want to do is I want to add a little bit of crocheted lace. And I pulled a couple different colors of it. And I had the green mostly if I went with this one, because then it would balance the green that was up in the stenciling down below. But since I'm not using that side anymore, I think it's going to be between this one that's more brown and this one that's more off-white, which I think is going to be the winner. The brown one just seemed to get lost on the brown wood down there. So that's the one I'm going with. And instead of wrapping it around and doing the Nelly knot like I did on the last one, I'm just going to use some glue dots. Crochet lace, I don't wrap around. It's just so bulky anyway. It's just easier this way. And I just kind of along the top. Add some glue dots on there. And one down here at the end. Okay. Now I'm just going to run this along the bottom. And I kind of have a natural line there created in the pattern that I can follow, which is helpful. And then just kind of tack it down. Make sure I have it on there straight, which it looks pretty good. Now it's just flipping the card over. Trimming that off, which it's not being the most cooperative, but at least it will work with my kind of boho chic look we got going on. Ragged edges aren't going to throw the look off of this card. Okay, so I've got that down. Now I'm going to have a large panel of pattern paper going across the center there. And I finally have to make a decision between these two prints. And I think because I know I want to use this yellow polka dot, and it's the same size polka dot. It's a lot of polka dots going on again. So I'm going to cut the multicolor polka dot and go with the floral. And it just gives us a nice balance of prints on there. So I also know I want to tear the bottom edge of this. That's going to kind of overlap the crochet lace, so the crochet lace will be peeking out from underneath it. And so I'm just going to kind of line it up about where I want to cover it. So about in there. And I'm just going to start tearing, and kind of my rule of thumb is if I tear towards myself, you'll see the white edge on the paper. If you tear away, you won't. It'll go straight down to the pattern, but I like seeing that white edge. So I just tear up towards me. And that gets you kind of a nice controlled torn edge. Just like that. And I'm just going to use a pencil real quick. Mark my cut mark. Ink the edges, except for I don't ink the white torn edge. You certainly can, but I like to leave that white the white raw edge showing. Okay. Now, since I want to lay it over that crochet lace, I'm actually going to use some foam adhesive to pop this panel of paper a little bit. So just get that on the back side here. And it's not going to be all the way, because I'm going to have that crochet lace along the bottom edge and I don't want to overlap on it, so I'm going to have my foam adhesive not quite all the way to that edge. I want to leave some room for the crochet lace to lay underneath it. And then some in the middle for good measure, since I got a big panel going on. Okay. Get this going on the card. Okay, so I'm just going to lay that right over that crochet lace. So it's just peeking out from the bottom of our pattern paper. There we go. Okay, so now one of the main reasons I chose this pad of paper had this great little sheet that has all these sentiments already on it and different little journaling spots and decorative spots, and I really like this little banner here. I thought that would be a great place to add a sentiment, so I'm going to cut that out. And just trim that with my scissors. And I flipped through my little book of sentiments, and I just came across this cheapy little Studio G sentiment. It's part of a little dollar setup at Walmart or something, and it's "Thank you for being my friend." And then I'm just gonna ink that up with some Memento Tuxedo Black again. And then I'm just gonna stamp that right on my little banner here. Not too hard of a pressure with these cheaper stamps, because then they'll kind of halo and spread and not look so pretty. So just a nice up and down motion with those. Okay, so I got my sentiment ready to go, and of course I want to ink up the edges of this guy too. Okay. Now let's see where we're at. So we're going to have that coming down. We got our little Anya that's going to be over here. Okay, so I'm going to create just kind of a place to ground Anya with these two pattern papers. And I'm just going to cut some strips. And just kind of eyeball it a bit. About 1 3/4 inches will probably be good. And I'll just have that coming off that side. And there. And I could just tear it, or I could cut it straight. I think since I have the tear going on, I might as well just tear this. Okay, so that'll come off there. Then I'm going to go a skinnier strip of my kind of dusty aqua blue. Probably, 3/4 of an inch. And that's just going to kind of go up top here. And then I just decide whether I want it to go longer or shorter than the yellow. I think I'm going to have it go shorter. So I'm just tearing that too. Okay, so kind of see how we're coming together. We've got a nice little space that's going to help ground Anya and give her a little place for her feet to rest. We'll have our little sentiment banner coming off of there. Have a little bit of blue peeking out back here. That's the blue, the tricky blue I was trying to match her shirt to. And I think it turned out pretty good. Okay, so I'm liking that. I'm liking how that layout's coming together. Though I am thinking, let me ink the edges of these guys. Again, leaving that raw torn edge white. Okay. And then just use my little Tombow tape runner. I want that there. And this one coming over the top, like that. Okay. She's going to rest there. I'm going to have this here. So I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive on here. And I'm actually going to, I just did a little bit to tack that into place. I'm going to use this little Tim Holtz Tiny Attacher, and it's just mini staples, and I think they're cute. Put a couple on there to hold that in place. Okay, looking pretty cute. So now I can get my adhesive on here. Put that down. Okay. And I'm going to, generally when I fussy cut them out, I pop dot my little characters just to give them a little extra dimension. So we'll do that for Anya. Okay. So yeah, it's going to, you know, bulk up the card a little bit, having 2 layers of foam dimensions, but I don't think it's going to be too bad. It has a lot of give to it, so it still fits into an envelope nice and easy. Okay, so then I'm just going to kind of place her where I want her. Kind of like her about in there. Give it some pressure. Okay, so now it's kind of finishing off the card. And let's see, I was thinking about using some little embellishments that I got to go with it. Let's see, aha. It's the little button and stick pin. They're new. They haven't done this combination of embellishments before, and I have kind of a little obsession with stick pins, even though I don't use them like on every card or anything. I love decorative stick pins, and I love buttons too. So I had to get these, and I think they'll be a fun look for our little boho chic Anya there. And so I know I want to use these buttons. Let's see. Cut these apart. And these ones actually match. They had them there's 4 collections of the Miss Caroline. And these ones actually go with the, this one goes with the fiddlesticks. So I like the purple one. I like the wood one. And I gotta pick one more, because generally you want to work in odd numbers, and it's kind of the rule of threes, or, you know, it's anything in design, whether it's home decor or scrapbooking or anything. Odd numbers are more pleasing to the eye. So let's see if I like this one better or that one better. I think for our little girl, I'm going to go with the yellow, just because we got the shiny in our purple, and I want to keep the rest kind of natural. Okay, so now it's just fiddling with placement. All my grand plans, and they just might be way too big. They kind of overwhelm the design, which is a bummer. But I'll be able to use them on a larger card, because I just am not loving these anywhere in particular. Okay, well that was a grand plan. Let me go to idea number 2. And let's see. Pull out some purple buttons and see what I got. Not bad. Pulled out the same kind of button. There we go. Let's see what else I got. Get some yellow. That's kind of cute. Might be a little big, but we'll see. For sure the little guy will work. Okay. And now we want kind of a blue. This one I don't know if I'm going to have a match for or not. But we'll see. That's not bad. Not bad at all. Okay. So I think I'm back on track with my buttons. kind of cute. Maybe there. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so now I'm ready, and I could just glue dot them on, but I'm a little OCD, and I have to have finished buttons on my cards, on anything really. So I just take a little bit of, oh, what is this? Probably embroidery thread, I think, and then I just crisscross it in the back of the button and put a glue dot over top. So I'm not tying anything off, not adding any extra bulk back there with a knot. Just letting the glue dot hold both the thread and the button to the card. And we'll just do that for each of these. Though this one, let's actually bring it through to the front. Since I don't have any like bows going on with like ribbon, since I use the crochet lace instead, this could be a cute touch over on this side of the card to create a little bow on the top of our button. There we go. And just fuss with it till you get the ends where you want them. Perfect. Trim off the ends. Add a little glue dot. Glue dots are my best friend, if you haven't figured that out by now. Love them. Okay, so I like that there. Cute. And then finishing off these buttons. And this is going to be it for this card. I'm just going to leave, let the buttons be my only embellishment, since I've got a lot going on in the print back there, and I don't want to cover up any more of, you know, the wood grain and floral that we have going on. So I think this will be a nice touch. Just gotta stick that one there. I'm just kind of random and not, I mean, I knew I didn't want both of the purples together on the same side and both of the yellows together on the same side. And then just trying to group them in a way that's pleasing to the eye. And then I think this will be a nice little kind of spring color. Oh, I'm so ready for spring. It's like as soon as Valentine's was over, it's like pulling out the pastels and going crazy. But it's fun. Oh, I used up all those glue dots. Here we go. Right. Gonna crisscross my two ends there. Get the glue dot on the back. That one's going to be kind of higher and close to the purple. And then our little aqua blue. Okay. Not too bad. Trim that up. think I'm going to have it kind of falling away from the other two down in there. Alright. So, it doesn't need anything else. I really don't think so. I think, you know, pretty quick, pretty easy, because I used a lot of, you know, coordinating papers from, you know, when it wasn't so hard to pick. They all, you know they're all going to go together in one way or another. You just got to figure out which ones look good with which. So that made it quick and nice, and little Anya has a lovely little home of flowers, and she's ready for spring, and she's kind of changed up her outfit there and showing off the legs. So I hope you enjoyed the videos, and like I said, I'm going to make this a monthly thing where every month I'll do a little series of coloring all the way up through the finished card, and then I will post this on my blog tomorrow. It's 1000sheetsofpaper.blogspot.com, and you can see it all up and in its glory there. So thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys later. Bye.